Alrighty, hey, what's up? It's me. Hey, I'm your nosy neighbor lady. It's your nosy neighbor lady show. And I was thinking about a video, which is loneliness, desperation, isolation, particularly for black women, because I just saw a video about the black women in friendships, and I remember we did a lot of videos on loneliness. I have to go through and try to find them and put them out. I'm doing my best. Work with your girl. I'm his old girl. I'm his old girl. I'm his agent. I'm his geriatric millennial geriatric. Am I saying it right? Geriatric. Anyway, while I'm being old and cute and beautiful me, and y'all being beautiful and wonderful y'all, the isolation, the loneliness, and I saw a video about a lot of black women saying about friendships and how we don't want them and how I'm better by myself. And we know that black women struggle with a lot of self-hatred, a lot of dislike and distrust of other black women. But as a ghettoologist, hoodologist, trapologist, went to a few colleges, it's like, girl, no woman is an island. Human beings are not made to be alone. Now, where do you find these friends? I think you can try other races of people, just being honest. Because black women, we don't know how to love each other and we don't know how to treat each other. And that isolation and loneliness will lead you to self-destructive behaviors, or lead you to toxic relationships, or to act out with substance abuse, alcohol, whatever your thing of choice is, and you become overly indulgent in those things. Just being with you all so long and just not having friendship circles and not having a man and just giving you two my time and my life and healing with you all, which was very productive. But one of the downsides was the isolation and the loneliness that I felt like led to self-destructive behaviors in my life. Even like my drinking during COVID, I know I consumed way more alcohol than I ever would have. I know my tolerance for alcohol is higher. Just from not being in social settings, just from not being loved by a man, just from not having friends to go out with or to call me and check up on me, why those friendships went away. Or I moved to a different city too, though, so a lot of that was to blame for a lot of my friendships too. But just over time, I saw a video. Of course, it was one of them long story times that was boring the out of me. But she started off talking about how her friend invited her to something, and she came and her friend stood her up, and I didn't finish the video. Well, no, not her friend stood her up. Her friend like flaked on her, invited her to a place, and like didn't have the invitation or something. Basically, the friend didn't like her. But we see a lot of this in the black community. It's just so sad that black women treat each other so bad, and it's hurting all of us. And we all suffering for lack of friendship. And yeah, God is a good friend, but he doesn't talk back. And if you do talk back, half of y'all can't understand what he's saying anyway, because y'all don't listen. If you got a relationship or don't got a relationship, even how God is your husband or Jesus is your husband. I don't know how that works in religion, because this sound kind of incestuous, not to sound blasphemous, but just saying that you need people. People need people. And in the black community, you don't have a community. We know that Blackistan is not a loving, caring, looking out for you place, especially as a black woman. So we know nobody's coming to rescue black women. We know a black man is not coming to rescue black men. We know that if somebody is coming, it's going to be another black woman to come help and support you. Now, whether you like everything she do or agree with everything she do, sometimes you got to set boundaries in your friendship. Like, girl, if you want this friendship, I just don't want to talk about this right now. I don't want to talk about that, or I don't want to hear that, or set time limits on when you all see each other. I saw friends where even my one friend, we only saw each other in like August and September, because our birthday was in August. We party all August and September. Then I'll see her next year around that time, or maybe around Christmas or something, if we want to get out for New Year's or Christmas. And then we're back around. When you all are talking every day and being around each other every day and all this, and then when you all start having intercourse with your friends too that are women, that blur lines too. But we know in black culture there are no lines or boundaries, so it's so hard to actually find a friend. And then also, as you age, it get harder to find friends, because we're all stuck in our ways and we feel how we feel and we want to do what we want to do. And it's just like, friendship is important, and loneliness and isolation is very dangerous. I think even how we think about our mothers and our grandmothers and our aunts who go to church. We're like, why they go to church? They don't do this, they don't do... It's a social gathering in a social setting. Whether they doing God right or not, it's a social aspect of it. That's why people get hobbies. That's why people join clubs, and like the tennis club. But see, black people don't do that type of stuff. Y'all just want to get red paper cups and drink and smoke or whatever your drug of choice is and think that that's socialization. It's not. Not every time, all the time. But if you want a friend or don't want a friend, this is not a video to say, oh, you should want a friend. But they say actually the equivalency of being lonely is like smoking a pack of cigarettes today or 20 cigarettes a day or a pack of cigarettes a day. That's equal to being lonely. And with this new rise in social media, in this social media age where nobody know how to communicate and all you need is your phone and you feel like your life is online and you're somebody else online and you don't really know who you are in real life or in person, and you don't even want to address who you are in real life or in person because it's easier to be somebody else online. It's not really you. Which is a terrible disassociation from yourself. And the false sense of self that the internet does give anybody on it, a false sense of self. If you're not grounded and really know who you are as a person, you know what I'm saying, and not secure in who you are and know who you are with time and work and, patience with yourself to find yourself and actually take time out for that. But it's just and then just with age and even thinking about the guy who, I kind of been dealing with, and I just kind of wonder, was it about desperation? Even when we just kind of saw the trophy wife or a feeding of the flesh, which I know it was a feeding of the flesh, but it just made me think about, the trophy wife girl. A lot of people say she got with him out of desperation. A lot of times women and men often get in relationships or be with people when they're vulnerable. It might not usually be somebody they want to be with or that they see themselves with. Even when I think about my children's fathers, it wasn't because I just loved them the best or the most. It was because what they were offering was more than the other men I was with. And I wanted to move out my mom's house. You know what I'm saying? Was that an act of desperation? Definitely could have been. But I saw that I wanted out my mama's house, so any means necessary. My daughter dad was like, come on, let's live together. I got you. And I was like, okay, hey, I'm coming. We can play house, Same with my son dad. Started living with him. I don't know if I just saw him as the ideal man or a man I want to marry or even a man I want to be with forever. I didn't think about those type of things. I just knew that they would take care of me and my needs would be met as far as whatever that was at the time. And I went. Was I vulnerable? I was vulnerable because I just didn't want to be in my mom's house. You know what I mean? And it's just was there love there? I love anybody who's going to do what I want them to do. That's just period. That's point blank. That's how I am. Shoot, I don't care who you are. If you do what I want you to do and keep me fed and heated and cold and clothed and stuff, I love you to death for here and back and again. I don't care what you look like. Because my kids, I'm just glad they don't look like their daddies. Girl, ugly men always treated me better. And good looking men got too much of an ego for me. But either way, that loneliness, isolation, when you're seeing this online and it's so cool and so trending to talk about not having nobody nowhere, that's not a good way to live, because one day you're going to need somebody somewhere. And yeah, we live in a world with Uber and DoorDash and all these conveniences that you really don't need people. And some people would argue that that's the plan for the greater, how the people who run the country and the world, the secret people of the world run they say actually that's what they want, people to be isolated and vulnerable so they can control you. You have nobody to bounce your ideas off of. As a woman, you have nobody to vent to emotionally. Think how much I go on live just venting and ranting because I have nobody to talk to. And then, too, as a black woman feeling the way I feel sometimes, I think a lot of black women can't relate. So I have to come here because you are my tribe. But I have definitely developed a codependent relationship with you all. That's definitely not healthy for me, and that's why I'm glad I took time off the internet. I'm glad I took time off to step back and evaluate what I'm doing and what I'm feeling, and learning how to cope with my own emotions by myself, where I can always lean on y'all and cry with y'all and get mad with y'all and take it out on y'all. Sometimes it do be y'all fault though, but a lot of times it's just me. And I just think people do need to shoulder the crown, you know. But this celebration of loneliness, this celebration of isolation, but then also I appreciate the honesty of women being honest. Black women don't have friendships. There is no sisterhood. And it's all really just tragic and sad for black women like you and me who want a friend and who need a friend and want somebody genuine. But that jealousy, hatred, and envy, it just lives in black women so strong, because Blackistan is a jealous, hateful, envious, violent, debaucherous community. So we're just products of that. We're products of that. And that women are less than in our culture. Women are bitch's thoughts in our culture, you know. We just celebrate hurting each other, and it's so sad that we get off on hurting other women, and it causes black women to isolate and not trust other black women and not to give them a chance and to run away, because a lot of the friendships are filled with drama and back and forth and ulterior motives and trying to like destroy you and like wear your panties, you know, like that's just scary. But there are women who wear other women panties. Run. But run to the nearest exit as quick as you can. But it's just like, I just think it leads to activities or self-destructive things. Even when my grandma died, I called the guy who I hadn't been dealing with forever. That was like the last black guy I had dealt with, Mr. November. But y'all know, we're not up to date right now, so you all aren't up to date on my life, and we're up to date on some of y'all leaves. But and then I called him, and we just end up fighting. We had never fought before, but I was vulnerable, and my grandma died, and I didn't know what to do, so I called him, which was against my better judgment. But that was my waking self. My waking self knew it was not a good idea, but my other self, who was sad and hurt and didn't know what to do and who was lonely, called him. And we was fighting. Yeah, on the floor, for real, fighting. And it was crazy because we've never fought before. But I knew that I didn't want him. I knew that I didn't want to be around him. I knew that I didn't like him. I didn't trust him. I knew that he gives me nothing of substance of value for my life. But I didn't know nobody else. So, loneliness can be dangerous. So, I just feel like whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is you're seeking, I don't think it's healthy to be isolated and alone as a woman in this world. You need somebody. And if you got so much money where you don't, I wish I had the money too, girl, because I know it feel good, girl. I wish I had it. I don't got it. So, but I want to laugh again. I want to smile again. I want to go out again. I want to talk to a girlfriend again, you know, well, a woman friend, not a girlfriend. I identify as straight. But I miss it. I miss my friends. I miss having friends. I didn't realize how much of a social person I was till I got away from y'all and the healing and the what people did to me and the wrongs and all I've been wronged and the parts I've played in it. After I got over all that, I realized all my life I've been a social person. All my life I went to things and was invited to things and was always outside and was always around people. And sometimes we have a sit down era where we sitting in looking out the window, and then sometimes we have an era where we outside, and it was time for me to sit down. Or whatever I went through, I don't regret it, but I have to go back to my extroverted self. When I was a kid, I was a shy kid. You know, I was funny, you know, I still talked and stuff, but, you know, just being a shy, fat girl. But once I got grown and 18 and I wanted to live in the world, and I had friends and boyfriends and places to go, people to see, and things to do. So it's just like not doing that for so long. I can definitely see it just being dangerous for your mindset. Because I was all the way on one end of the spectrum. Now I'm all the way on the other end of the spectrum, and it's not fulfilling my life. It's not fulfilling. And then we have this culture where everybody, oh, I'm an extrovert, and oh, I need me time, and oh, I don't like people. I think as black people, you're forced in that box because black people don't have understanding and don't know how to nurture relationships or know how to relationship. We talk about that all the time. Black people don't know how to relationship, whether it's romance, whether it's friendship, whether it's mother, daughter, dad, father, whatever these relationships are. Black people don't know how to relationship. So on that note, I'll say goodbye, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you give me a like. I hope you come back and see me, even though I'm crazy. I'm toxic, which I am. Okay. No, I'm not. We do have a abusive love over here. I can't help it. I'm black. It's the abuse for me. No, really, no. We talk about things in an honest way, and I don't want to be nobody else, and I don't want y'all to be nobody else. Okay, please don't force me in a box, but just stay beautiful, wonderful you, and I'm hoping all your dreams come true. Happy holidays, happy New Year's, Merry Christmas, girl. It's our time to shine, and hopefully I'm in the right mind to get us there. Bye. Mwah.